Hi. So I'm in a mood and I have another thought in my head. Why do I feel like I am accepting a call? Like expecting a call, but it just feels like I'm already in the mindset or in the flow of thoughts that are occurring on that call. It's like God has called me, basically. Like it could be anything, okay? You could just imagine it as a superpower, like just granting your wish. And I feel like that. Maybe I've watched too many cartoons growing up or too many superhero movies. But I feel like I have just like sort of awakened an ability, and I'm not crazy, okay? I have thought of this, we all have some abilities, okay? Like all your zodiacs and everything says something, and I know some of you believe in it, some of you don't, and I am actually neutral in that. It's just your own view of the world. Like whatever you believe in, you follow that. If you don't believe in something, you can just avoid it. That's all. Make it simple for yourself. Like be free to believe or not believe, or be who you are, basically. So yeah, so I was expecting a call is what I feel like to say, because I am expecting a call, and it just hasn't happened yet, but these are my train of thought. So let's discuss it. Let's get into it. Okay, so I feel like it's like a call from my God, and it's like I'm seeing, but then I've already known what's happening, right? Because somehow you believe in something so much that you imagine absolutely everything about it, like to the last detail, and you feel like in my way, I'll just give you an example how I say it is like, this is exactly how I thought. Like, oh my God, I told you. And it just happens. There are some friends who just get this, understanding of something before you do, because you're stuck in that situation. But sometimes you already know you are feeling something, but you're trying to avoid it. It becomes a fear of a sort. If, you avoid something that you, in the core of your being, believe that is true or false, or could be anything. This was supposed to work out for me, why didn't it? So you do not know what happened. What are you missing? So you ask yourself questions like that. Why did this happen to me or that happen to me? So I have been in that zone for quite some time, frankly, and I really, really, really wanted answers. And so I started talking to people who have a different perspective than me. They are able to see something that I am clearly missing, because I am into my own head and I am not able to see the bigger picture. Just wanted to, because I've been into my head. So this does happen to me, and so I then go out means uh, go out of my mind and connect with people who uh, helps me in situations like that, or who generally just are there for me. So yeah, I go out of my head and I talk to those people, and when I listen to them, they just show me a different perspective of the world, and that actually helps me a lot, right? And I ask more questions, I get into it, I want to understand you know people in journal, and matlab, it's like you want to know people because you already love them. These are my constant people, right? So you just want to see their progress, how they are growing, Hannah. And then you just feel blessed that oh my God, you're able to understand some people to the core. So basically you're it's like a dream, I would say. Like people have different dreams. Then some, right? But they have this like some kind of motivation or some kind of like idea in their head, and they fell in love and so on. So I always wanted or had a wish that the people close to me, I could like understand them to the, or like most of the time my opinion is so strong that I get into that or got stuck to it for a very long time as well. But then when I listen to other people, people who I would say I've chosen myself, like I am grateful, but I am also like choosing them, right? They just didn't choose me, I'm choosing them back. So I put a lot of efforts like in the people I want to keep in my life. Like I'm so grateful and blessed to have them, is what I feel like. And when I listen to their perspective, and just like uh, it's like I had my own idea, like I had everything clear from my point of view, and then you listen to other people and you find their take on that as well. And some people maybe like don't like it sometimes, so even I get a lot of emotional, and at the moment sometimes you feel like the other person's idea is actually resisting yours. So that is not the case, like they are just speaking their own mind, and you did the same too first, right? So it just have to be in harmony, like like uh, how two people can communicate to the basic level, right? Leave everything out of it, leave your ego, anger, self, everything out of it, and then talk to people on the most basic level, the level of like where you do not see the body but you see the soul of the person. Like we are on all humans, right? So when you eliminate all the biases that are there in the world, like gender bias and like personality types and everything, strip everything and just see them as a human, like another human, you and that person, and then you start talking to them. So I love that. First of all, like that is something that really happens, and when it does, I just know in a heartbeat that this is the kind of person I want to keep in my life, right? You are given your own bonds, your siblings and your parents, and you're grateful for them always. They are your family. But then along the way, when you take decisions for yourself, or you go out in the world and be your individual self, you're still part of the family and everything. You have your roots, but then you want to grow, right? And you grow, and you sometimes are so lucky that you find really good people in the start itself, like they were just placed for you. It could be anything, could be a mm, moving to a new place, or sometimes even that is not a good experience. In my case, I have realized that going to new places does not always means like everything would be nice only. Some places requires change, like they have their own weather, they have their own things to give, and when you enter that, you need to also know what you are going to give back, right? So if you just plan to hate that city or hate that life because it made you change, go through change of any kind, like from one place to another place, or in personality, like earlier in your other city where you were very comfortable, you became so happy with your friends and such, you had your whole world like full of happiness, and then you move because of education or job, it could be anything, or you just move in general and you just feel disconnected to your ball of happiness in an instant, I would say, because it puts fear into you, because you had this amazing amazing life and you had to leave that somehow. Could be anything, right? Like I said, education, jobs, career, for life itself, like you're growing in life and anything could be happening. And you made the decision yourself only, okay? It could be in your control, or you made it because of a certain situation, but it at the end of the day, when you accept something, that becomes your decision. So when you take a decision, you need to make your priorities again. Like, you need to evaluate your life, what is important to you right now, what are the situations that causing this change, and how do you want to react and respond to that situation. So this I have learned very, very late in life, but I have always been somebody who likes to prepare. Like, if something comes at me in the blink of an eye, I would sort of pause at that situation. I won't take two steps back, or two steps ahead. Like, yeah, this is in the case I'm alone. If I'm with somebody, my first reaction would be to protect the person. Like, if I see if it's a danger, if I see if it's something good as well, then also I would want to push the other person ahead and then take the step. Like, that is, I feel like, my ability, or what I've, like, sort of thought of myself as. In, like, I do stay in my head and I am Delulu. But other people also, like, have said this thing to me in not straight words, but yeah, in similar words. Like, if you think about it as a collective of your own life, you are the only one who's seeing it all. You see your behavior, nature with different people, and a lot of people after a certain point, they are done with that kind of personality, that having a different experience with different kind of people. So once you mature, you choose your people, and you choose your everything. Like, you get so many choices, so you learn to choose your battles, which you wanna put your effort into. So like, you choose your career, which suits you. You choose your life partners, you choose your friends, who to keep, who to just keep connected, like, once in a while, and who you do not wish to talk ever. You choose everything, and that's how you shift into that. Like, you become mature after a certain point. But we never stop learning, to be very honest. We are never that mature that we know everything in life, and certain things would go according to your plan, but there'll be room for so many uncertainties. And I think that's the beauty of life. I am a philosopher at my core, so I like to connect everything, and then it all comes back to life itself. So yeah, I was expecting a call, and it feels like all the questions like that I didn't even raise. Can you even believe? I talk so much, I think so much, I overthink things, but there was a corner in my heart or in my mind that I kept blocked, like, for a certain reason. That you could say ki, I am not a therapist, but I've seen a lot of shows, and I've seen a lot of scenes of therapy, and how they uncrack somebody and make them talk. So I thought, like, I had this thing, and I need to obviously be brave enough to unlock it and face that. Or it could be a door in your head which you always keep locked, and you are like, we are not going there back again. But you, after a certain point, when you have, like, moved on, and you wanna be 100% present in the present, right? Like, no dreamy world. You like the life that you've built, you feel grateful, and you finally understood all the lessons so far. Like, in the future, you are open to learning, because that is, I think, basic personality. A learner cannot stop learning. If they do, they'll get frustrated, they'll get irritated, but that cycle keeps repeating until it comes back to its original path and starts learning again. So yeah, that is my point of view. So whenever you try to resist something, like, you just cannot imagine that thing working out for you right this second. Like, you think, oh, I'm in my comfort zone, oh, I have finally done enough. Like, this is what I've built, this is my peace. I call it peace, but that is not peace. You are just hiding, like, the other part of you, which is just like in a constant pain, because you don't know how to, like, let go of something, or how to avoid it, है ना? Like, you see people healing, uh, growing up like from something bad like so fast, है ना? Like, you start comparing yourself, like, to them, that are you not good enough? Like, do you have to be behind uh, in everything? Like, some people might call me, like, over this ambitious, or like, is like listening to you feels like, you wanna get everything right in life. And to be very honest, I do want everything to be right in life, right? Because this is a one life. Even if we make mistakes, even if we stumble, even if we are like really behind other people, I want to live life by a rule that I didn't even make. It just uh, came to me, like, it just followed me, it just blended into my life so seamlessly that I cannot separate it. So yeah, being right. And by being right, I do not mean being right all the times. No, I can be wrong, and other people teach me and I can get it right. But staying true to myself, knowing that each second, each moment, I really, really want everything to stay right only. I do not want to disturb uh, anybody. And with that, by that means ki nature, people, animals, anything. Like, I like balance. Like, if everything is going right, let it. And if in case of life there it needs to be fast, it needs to be like, um, needs some unbalance, like, because you're growing up so fast. So even if you come down, you stumble, Hannah, I am okay with that as well. That is right, okay? If you want to know something is totally aligned with you, something is, you know, it is that you need to do is something that you keep coming back to. It's as simple as that. Like, we try to leave it for so many things, and but you at some point of time you just forget your ego, you just forget your anything, like, whatever you hold, like, if it's fear you hold of, facing that thing, then that, or if you think that your ego will be hurt, then it could be that, or if you feel like you'll get hurt, then it could be that. So we always try to resist something because we have some kind of strong emotion building which is completely opposite of what we are trying to feel at that moment. Like, we want to feel happy always. People do not want to be sad, but when they think that happiness is too far away, they settle for peace. Like, okay, if I am okay with this being not so bad, will that make me crazy? No, that's life. Highs and lows will come. But that is how you need to live, right? That sometimes when it's low, if you are able to pull yourself up, or you find people, you feel energy around you like such that people won't let you go down, uh, then that's a really, really nice achievement. Like, it doesn't have to be people, it can be you yourself. If you always save yourself from, like, going that down, and you have been doing it for a very long time, then I applaud you. Congratulations. Like, seriously, that is, like, I'm proud of you. I am proud of everybody like that. Like, I am so proud of the people I have in my life. It's because they have somehow, beating all odds, become themselves. Like, they know what they want in life, how they want to be to others as well. Like, they're trying to be so true to themselves that it's just so motivating to me as well. Like, if I'm different, and we are always like, nowadays, to different is good actually. It sells really well. But I'm not talking about that kind of different. Like, uh, some people just want to be nice, right? But they end up being the most rude person in the room. And that sorts of like, changes your own perception of nice people as well. Like you've always seen nice people being very, very soft spoken, very nice, very humble, है ना? Never challenging anybody, है ना? Keeping a harmony. But I don't think you can achieve that stage before showing all of your emotions. Like if you get angry for somebody else, then that will come out. If you can cry for somebody else, then that will come out. If you can feel empathy for somebody else other than yourself, like without any care, that you will get that back. It's just, I'm talking about when you give to somebody without like any expectation of taking anything from them. Like you just want them to have it. Like giving love freely, and it is love. Care is also another form of love only. So when you do that for somebody else without any selfish uh, or greed filling your heart, but pure joy, is when you feel like, yo, this is why I want to be right. Not right in all the situations, but right when it matters. Like, I would want to be there for people when they do not even believe in themselves. If I think I'm crazy, then it's all right with me, because right now I feel like I'm right. And that's how I ended up thinking about, this thought. Like, I was moving through this, and while recording this as well, like, my thoughts deviated from its original path a lot. But that's how my thinking works. Like, I just don't force it. It comes to me and I start speaking. That's why I'm speaking so slow. Otherwise, I talk really, really, really fast, because that time I'm like in a rush to, put these many thoughts in 1 minute or 5 minutes, which is very hard. Like, but I can do it. I am a doer type personality. But I know that is just like, saying, it sounds good, I guess. It's a part of motivation for me. Like, I like action. So, yeah. uh, I hope I didn't like, said too much, and like, but I'm feeling really, 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 really good about the call. And this is something I wanted to do, record and like, share my thoughts. So thank you for listening. Bye bye. Take care.